We're back at it again with another Battlefront update. With everyone now gearing up for DICE's first major update of December set to drop next week on Tuesday, believe it or not, we've still got plenty of exciting news to go over in this info-packed video that not only gives us brand new details on the Rise of Skywalker update, but even several datamined leaks, including a new secret mode that DICE are working on behind the scenes. As always, we'll be covering all of this and more in today's video. And before we get into any of that, but a quick reminder, as if you do like these type of videos, then do remember to give it a like to show your support for not only this update series, but also the content within it. With that out of the way, let's get into it. Starting things off, I do want to quickly get one question answered that I've been getting a lot lately since the Celebration update. And some of you may know what I'm talking about, but if not, then it's the question regarding if vehicles will be getting new skins in the near future. This is because in the Celebration update, for some reason or another, a new appearance tab has randomly shown up for vehicles in the collections menu. And of course, as usually is the case of these sort of things, this has led to many people asking questions about it. Are we getting new skins for vehicles, and if so, what kind? However, before you all get too excited, Benwalk has stepped in as usual, and in an effort to try and calm down the community, revealing that vehicle customization is actually not coming, and this is nothing more than a bug. I mean, it's definitely an odd bug, I'll give it that. But even if we were to get vehicle customization at some point, I can think of 10 other things that I'd much rather want DICE to focus on first than vehicle appearances. Speaking about the Celebration update, there have been a lot of questions pop up lately regarding the Celebration Edition upgrade and whether it's worth the purchase. As a reminder, the Celebration upgrade will give you every single appearance, voice line, and emote in the game that normally can be purchased using crystals or credits. However, what it won't give you is in-game event exclusives, like the Farm Boy Luke skin for example. Anyway, some folks aren't convinced that buying the upgrade, which I believe is only around 25 bucks, is worth it. And to them, I say I've got something which will completely change their minds about this. Because one person on Reddit called Give Up Hope Again actually went ahead and calculated how big of a discount you're really getting by purchasing the Celebration Edition upgrade over, say, buying everything separately with crystals. And the answer may and should shock you, as according to them, the grand total of every unlockable in the game using crystals would cost you a whopping $800, in American mind you. So yeah, that's a seriously good deal when you think about it. Either pay 25 bucks for the Celebration upgrade or $800 using crystals. Not a hard decision at all, especially if you're all about having every unlockable in the base game. Moving on to the hero department, we've recently been given a heads up from hero designer Guillaume Raz regarding some new upcoming changes for both Leia and Darth Vader that should be hitting next week's update. According to Guillaume, he's looking at first reverting the change he made not long ago to Vader's choke blocking, having realized it was a mistake due to all the feedback he got on it. And yeah, it was a change that didn't go too well with the players. As before, you needed to have a target in order to use Vader's Force Choke. And now, with the upcoming update, Vader will still be able to use his Force Choke and go on cooldown even if he has no target. Originally, not a lot of people were happy with the Vader change, so it seems that all the feedback to Guillaume hasn't fallen on deaf ears. As for Leia, Guillaume stated that he'll be improving her flash grenade as it's currently worse than the officer's flash grenade. And as well, he'll be looking to tweak her shield too. Now for the Rise of Skywalker update, Ben has indicated to us that DICE want to approach the sequel trilogy Capital Supremacy differently than they did with the Clone Wars version, where over there they released one new map at a time. But for the sequel trilogy, their plan here is to try and release the maps all at once, which honestly is really the way to go here. I remember back when Capital Supremacy first came out and all we had was Geonosis. And yeah, while it was a lot of fun to play, I did start getting tired of the map the second weekend, so I'm glad to hear DICE are trying to avoid having that problem here. As for DICE's current list of maps that they want to release all at once, they're as follows. Ajan Kloss, Jakku, Takadana, and Starkiller Base for co-op, and Ajan Kloss, Jakku, and Takadana for instant action and capital supremacy. A pretty good-looking map release list, but I wouldn't mind seeing Starkiller Base make it to capital supremacy sometime afterwards too. And since Ben says that this list also isn't final, that could very well still happen. And while on the topic of Rise of Skywalker content, we've also have now received confirmation straight from Ben that yes, that era selector we've all been hearing and getting teased about for months now is finally arriving in next week's update. For those who don't know, using this era selector, you'll be able to select which era you want to play in, for example in capital supremacy games, whether it be Clone Wars or sequel trilogy. Before, there really wasn't a need for this, as understandably capital supremacy only had one era available. But with the sequel trilogy coming to it now and the original trilogy eventually soon after, then yeah, it's high time we're getting it. Next, we're going to move towards data mining and leak territory. As since the Celebration update, data miners have been able to uncover some interesting bits of information from the code on things DICE could be working on for future updates. The first one that caught a lot of attention was someone by the name of Republic of Aviators, who on Reddit revealed that they had found a brand new weapon given to Ewoks in the game code, and that being a bow. As for what this could mean, there are several guesses. One is maybe this could come to play in a Ewok Hunt version 3.0. And while I wouldn't completely write that off, I highly doubt we'll get a third Ewok Hunt. The last two were fun, but if we're gonna get a new hunt mode, then it better be something completely different, like a Wampa Hunt or a Undead Trooper Hunt. Something original. Anyway, another possibility is that this could be a part of the Ewok rework for it potentially becoming a reinforcement for the Rebel Alliance on Endor. DICE have previously teased before that they've held talks about Ewoks becoming a reinforcement. But to do that, they would need to rework the Ewoks a bit to make them a better playable character in other modes. So maybe by giving them a bow weapon or ability could be part of that plan. Either way, this is something surely to keep an eye out for. Well-known data miner Dylan Rocket also spotted some new code in the game where he suggests that DICE have been testing AI in modes like Galactic Assault and Strike. And if that's the case, then that would be pretty cool, as I don't know about you, but I love the bots in Capital Supremacy. So I'd without a doubt happily see them get added into Galactic Assault as well. Because really, why not? As for Strike, I'm not entirely sure about that, as that is a smaller mode and bots probably aren't really all that much needed there. So I'd sooner take bots for Galactic Assault over Strike. Dylan Rocket of course provided some images proving that yeah, auto players, which means AI, are in fact actually found in both the game code for Strike and Planetary Battles, aka Galactic Assault. As for why DICE has been testing this out, we don't know, and according to Ben Walk, it probably isn't something that we'll be knowing anytime soon anyway. Because Ben responded back by saying DICE don't have any plans on adding AI to either of those modes. And I can understand why. DICE already have their hands full of Capital Supremacy right now, so I doubt they'll go back and try to improve Galactic Assault or Strike at this moment in time. Again, it would be cool to see bots in Galactic Assault at least, but don't be expecting to see them for now. At most, I'm assuming they were maybe doing this to experiment about potentially bringing Galactic Assault and Strike to offline instant action. But all that pathfinding work on the bots probably turned out to be more difficult than DICE had anticipated. Lastly, another data miner called Kadiv's Gaming has uncovered what they believe to be an entirely new secret mode. According to them, it's so far pretty bare bones and only available on one map, being Naboo. But it does seem to resemble like some kind of horde mode, as it uses a large-scale Naboo map without any bounds at all to it, and throws a bunch of bots to fight each other in the middle of the map. Kadivs assumes this may be either likely a new mode created for quality assurance, or perhaps extremely early testing for a new playable mode altogether. As for what kind of mode, they have no idea, and really, based on the footage, I don't know either. Although, thinking about it, I wouldn't mind to have an offline horde mode like we did back in Battlefront 2015. So if this is the early test version of that mode that DICE are working on, then I'll be glad to take it when it's done. Besides, there's nothing wrong with having more offline modes anyway. But then again, for all we know, this could easily just become another new online mode, as we really don't know much to anything about this new secret mode other than DICE are working on something new here. But that'll do it for this Battlefront update. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel to not only support it, but keep up with Star Wars news, gaming, and canon lore released every week. And consider following me on Twitter and Facebook to never miss out on the latest Star Wars content. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.